All right, so computer app students, we are continuing with our review. We did the payment function review. We're going to take that same set of data and we're going to make something called an amortization schedule. So again, I like to label things, amortization schedule. And what this is going to be, it's going to be a listing of all of the payments you're going to have from payment number one all the way down to the last payment. And our example here is 60 months worth. So again, we like to label payment number, and we'll start out and label them 1 and 2. Again, spreadsheets will figure out a pattern if you tell it the pattern to figure out. So I'm going to highlight this number 1 and number 2 typed out, and as I start fill handling it down, it goes, oh, you mean go 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and fill handle it down until I get to 60 payments. Why 60 payments? Well, because that's the length of my loan. So I get all 60 of my payments figured out, and now I need the rest of my facts. Well, I need to know the beginning loan amount. I need to know the interest only. I need to know the monthly payment, and I need the ending loan balance or ending loan amount. Make some of these columns fit a little better. Merge this over the top, make it clean and simple to see. Center that up. Put some borders on it, make it easy to see. So, beginning loan amount. Here's one of the key, and a lot of these are key numbers because if not, we don't quite get things working right. But the beginning loan amount is going to be this $21,500, right? It's the same $21,500 we used to calculate our payment function, right? We can't use a beginning loan amount of 25. We didn't borrow 25,000 to make this happen. We borrowed 21,500. So we can either type in $21,500, and that would be just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Or I could say, go pull this value right here. If I'm going to go pull a value somewhere, if I want that number to stay the same, I need to use absolute cell reference, which is a $sign before the letter and a $sign between the letter and the number. Interest only. I want to calculate the interest on this number to the left of me. I don't want to calculate the number on this interest. Because as I make my payment, in theory, my payment's going to be bigger than the interest calculated, right? If I just make up numbers and let's say it's $100 in interest and $400 in payment, my loan balance is going to go down approximately $300. As it goes down, the interest will change and the monthly payment won't, but the ending loan amount will. And the goal is by the time I get all the way down here to the bottom, on my 60th payment, I will not owe any more money. I'll have paid off the whole loan, so my loan amount here will be 0. So again, just clip it off one by one. I take the number right next to it, and I'm going to multiply it by, well, there's my annual interest rate. Again, I always want it to refer back to this cell, so I'm going to use absolute cell reference to make that happen. But I got to divide it by 12. Now, if I don't do that, if I just take the principal times the rate, it's going to say, well, $1,600. How am I ever going to pay off a loan if I add $1,600 in interest, but I'm only making $400 payments, right? That math doesn't work. So again, I got to take my annual interest and turn it into a monthly number, meaning I got to divide this by 12. Now it looks a little better, right? I'm getting charged about $130 in interest. I'm making a $430 payment. My principal balance is going to go down about $300. We'll get that math here in a second. Monthly payment. Well, I've already figured it out right here. So equals, go click on that cell, and again, use absolute cell reference so that when I start dragging or fill handling some of these answers down, it's pulling the right value. Two positives and a negative number, add all three of them together, start with a loan balance of $21,500. Add the interest, because they don't know if I'm going to pay the loan. Obviously, they wouldn't have borrowed me money if they didn't expect me to pay it, but there's no guarantee. So principal plus the interest, then I'm going to add this negative number for the payment. And sure enough, my loan balance went down by about $300. If I ended payment number one owing $21,203.56, that's probably what I'm going to begin the next month with. Here's my key. I'm going to fill handle down one at a time. Now, my principal went from $21,500 to $21,200. Should my interest be the exact same number, bigger or smaller? I hope you said smaller, and when I fill handle it down, I say, yep, I'm now calculating off of this number and not that number. Still using the 7.5% interest rate, still dividing it by 12. Now I'm going to fill handle my monthly payment. Should that number be the same, different, bigger, or smaller? Well, hopefully it makes sense that I'm making 60 equal payments of this same $430.82. So I hope that number should stay the same. Fill handle this one on down, and it makes sense that my bill got about $300 less expensive by the time I was done. Highlight just your payment number two information, right? Don't highlight everything. Just highlight payment number two information and drag it down to the bottom. How do I know it's right? When I let go, does my ending balance show up at 0, right? So one more time. I figure out payment number one. I bring the ending balance from payment number one to be the beginning balance of payment number two. I fill handle just one time. Does my interest go down? It does. Does my payment stay the same? It does. Does my ending loan amount, again, get just a little bit smaller? Yep, by about $300. Highlight all of these four numbers, right? Payment number two, it's beginning loan amount, interest, monthly payment, and ending loan amount. Use my fill handle to fill those formulas all the way down to the bottom of my 60th payment. And when I get to 0, my number is good. I can finish up by adding up all of my interest payments. And in theory, that 4,300 number should match up to this 4,300 number. So I'm going to color those two the same color just to see that they are the same number. And again, I'm going to label it total interest. I can total up all my payments here and compare that to what I've already figured out earlier. 25,848. I'm going to color that one up green. Total payments. Back up here, same 25,848. So color that one up again green. Here was my monthly payment, which we'll color it up orange, which should match that monthly payment there. Orange. Here's my beginning loan amount of light pink, which should match up with that loan amount right there of light pink. Ending loan after the first payment, we'll change that to gray, which then becomes the beginning loan payment there. So as we're looking and proving between what I did up here in the payment function and what I did down here in the amortization schedule, I'm proving that these numbers both added up both sets of ways. All right? That is review of an amortization schedule.